Yeah, all right. So you spent the night on the hook off of Lewes, Delaware, and I remember this very well because the next day I was like, "All right, Cliff, we're gonna next stop is the C&D Canal. Go up the Delaware Bay, and then you got to time your entrance into the C&D. And going up the Delaware Bay is like from Lewes is like that's a full day right there, right? That's like 48 or 50 nautical miles, so that takes about a full day to get up. And then the plan was you were gonna get in the C&D Canal and we're at the right time, wait for a fair current. And,
yeah,
and
I wish I'd followed that plan.
And I remember sending you a text like, "Hey, where's your location?"
Yeah, you just sent me a text and give me your coordinates.
Yeah,
and I did, and you went, "What the fuck's wrong with you?"
Your coordinates said that you were in the Atlantic Ocean.
I was right outside
somewhere off
Ocean City, Maryland.
Ocean City, Maryland.
I was almost there. Yeah.
I was like, "What are you doing? Sailing the
You're
Bahamas?"
crazy.
I said, I thought you were coming to the Chesapeake. I thought you were going to spend the summer in the Chesapeake. What did you do? Decide to go to Florida today? And you're like, I remember you saying something like,
"No, I'm gonna go in at Norfolk."
Yeah,
so I said,
I couldn't really find the C&D on my chart because I don't have a chart plotter, and I figured I'd just sail to Norfolk because I did that before.
I've got that Garmin handheld, but it did not, And
it's hard to see the picture, yeah.
And even after after the day it took me to get back from that crazy ass, which it made me pay because the motor comes off again during that leg back.
Well, let's talk about that for a minute, because I was going back and forth here on text. You're like, "Well, I'm gonna just sail in from Norfolk." And I was like, Cliff. I looked at the weather.
You went, "That's a really bad idea."
Well, it might have been a good idea, but I looked at the weather and the forecast was you had good wind that day actually, but the next day it was forecast to be blowing like 25 to 30 from the south. You'd have been going straight into it, and
I was straight into it
already.
Already, it took all day to do 25 miles.
Yeah, and it was going to do that for like 4 or 5 days. It was like
I was looking at 3 days of that. Yeah,
and the other bad
you were
thing
like, if I were you, I'd go back to Lewes. And I went, I think
and
that's a good idea.
That Maryland, Virginia, the Delmarva Eastern Shore, there's no real anchorages or natural harbors, so you're kind of like stuck out there if you don't. Anyway, long story short, you pulled in at
I go into Ocean City,
right? Got
stuck a couple times there.
Yeah, you were in the inlet there.
Back in a marsh.
Yeah. And then is that where the engine tried to pop off on you again? Or is that on the way back?
No, that's about halfway. I'm right, yeah.
Right.
That's about halfway from between Ocean City and Lewes.
Going back.
I'm heading back,
right?
Yeah.
Because you're like, right, I'll go back up to Lewes, so...
Which luckily, because of the wind, that was actually pretty decent for me going back to Lewes.
Right.
I had wind, so
you got back up there, anchored again. You're like, I'm back here again in the same spot.
Thinking it was a really bad idea because I had to, I got the motor back on. Luckily, I had dummy cords and the motor, so it didn't run underwater this time. Mm-hmm. But it still filled up with water in between the time getting it up because it was kind of, I was doing this trying to pull that motor back in. So, yeah, that was interesting.
So just talk about that.
So then I sailed back into Lewes.
Yeah, I think for people to understand what's happening with the motor is useful, right? It's hard to understand how the outboard was actually coming off the transom. So first of all, the transom was a little bit weak.
It had been punctured unknowingly to me, and that day is when I found that out.
So it kind of flexed
the
more
plates
than it
that had been put up there to not show where it had been punctured into the transom before. Right.
And so it was flexing more than it should have. And then also you had like a side force.
It was side force
on
both
the
times.
Side of the motor, basically causing it to rotate off the transom.
Yeah, a motor will come off easily with a heavy side force. Yeah. And, that having a 25-inch shaft, it's got a lot of...
Right. So you got
a lot of surface in the water, so that and what had happened to me there at Ocean City, I was adjusting the sails and had my foot on the tiller trying to hold it in place. It slipped off, and I did a 360, and that motor popped right off.
Right.
Yeah, because they hold on real good like this, but you go like that, and they slip right off.
Right. So you got to Lewes, got the motor back on, got to Lewes, anchored again, and then. From there on,
started the cleaning the motor process again.
We also made a deal. I would give you waypoints every day, so because you weren't able to sort of zoom out on your phone or on the Garmin so that you could.
But
really
I could
plot.
punch in coordinates and it would go.
Every day I'd give you coordinates for your route waypoints.
Yes,
and,
you did.
And that seemed to work all right. So you got up to, what did you do that day? That next day you sailed up right to near the entrance of the.
Yeah, we
didn't you anchor near some island?
Right south. I went to Chesapeake City after that, didn't I? Oh no! You had me at the.
There was an island.
What is that?
Nature reserve.
Yeah,
I can't think of the name. Reedy Island.
Reedy Island.
Just south.
That was
of the
nice.
entrance.
That was another nice anchorage. Yeah, really sweet.
Just south of the entrance of the. And I think you had decent wind, didn't you, that day?
Yeah.
Yeah, you sailed pretty much most of the way up.
Yeah,
to Delaware Bay.
Right. Yeah, that was a good leg. Yeah.
Yeah. So another night on the hook there. Then Tony gave you some good information about what time to enter the C&D Canal.
Yeah. Tony Weatherford set me up with all the info to enter the C&D, so I started that log ride right on time. That was. Yeah, Tony gave me. It was perfect timing. Yeah.
And the current took you.
Right to Chesapeake City.
Chesapeake City, where there's like a man-made harbor, free docks, free anchorage.
And I pulled right. That was my first docking by myself, and it went off sweet.
Yeah.
I had a line run from the bow back towards me, so when I went up there, the way that dock is, I was able to just get here and sling that line out there and catch 2 cleats and tied it off, and then hopped around and got the lines on. So I was kind of proud of myself to tie her in myself.
And you told me that's a pretty nice little anchorage and harbor.
That is a very nice place. Very expensive, but a very nice place.
Yeah. I think you.
Yeah. Anytime you look around and see that nothing opens till after 12 o'clock, you know it's probably going to be expensive. We don't even have to open at 8. We wait till noon. We make plenty of money.
I think you told me you enjoyed you stayed there a day or two and you enjoyed yourself a lot there.
Yeah, I enjoyed 2 days there, right? Yeah.
You might have drank a little bit of
Modelo
Negro there or whatever.
No, I didn't get any of that, but they had some good Samuel Adams on tap, so that wasn't too bad. A draft, yeah.
And then
very expensive, but yeah, it was nice because I hadn't had any beer since
you didn't have to pay
so.
for any slip fees or anything there. So
yeah, so that kind of weighs out.
And they weren't. You told me they were pretty relaxed, right? They weren't like coming around checking out. You've been here 2 days. You need to go or anything like that, right? So good thing to put in your reference.
Yeah, good stop for all you cruisers. Yeah,
Chesapeake City.
And
that's right about halfway
the fuel
down.
dock is across from Chesapeake City Inn. If you're looking,
at the canal house, right? Schaefer's Canal House.
Yeah, really nice place too.
But it doesn't open.
If I was staying someplace, huh?
But it doesn't open until
actually
noon.
That place did open.
Okay. Right.
Early.
All right. So I think you had another Facebook friend come down and have a beer with you or something while you're in
Yeah,
Chesapeake
Mark
City.
Sturgill came down and we didn't drink, but we talked all night.
Right.
He didn't leave the boat till about 2. Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, we're gabbing away, talking about things. He's a electrician and type of all different types, knows his stuff. So me and him, we're trade talking most of the night.
He lives aboard his boat, doesn't he? In somewhere in that area. Yeah, somewhere nearby.
It's one of the rivers right past that on
the Chesapeake side.
Yeah.
So I guess you finally cast out from there. Chesapeake City. It was from there to Annapolis. Did you get all the way to Annapolis? That's right.
I sure did. Yeah. Which was very interesting too. Yeah, that was.
So down to C&D, the rest of C&D, there was pretty much.
There wasn't anything. Chesapeake City, there's really nothing left after that. You're popping right out after that.
Right.
And there's not much left of the C&D after that. Yeah.
Right.
But you're looking at the Bay Bridge all damn day. It's like, am I ever gonna get to it? And then when I finally did, I ran out of gas. right under it.
Right
and
where the water got shallow.
That pushed me into a shoal, and I got grounded while I was trying to refuel. And the worst part, sailor's intuition, I thought, maybe I should stop before I go into the bridge in a safe place and fuel up, just in case I went, I'll be all right. I won't listen to that now. I'll be all right again. Yeah. But I lucked out, got her refueled and was that, my my depth sounder comes on its own, and this was one of the good times it did that, because I looked down there and I saw 5'9", and I was like, okay. So I backed out into that, watching my depth sounder in that 5'9", because there's 2 foot and 1 foot on both sides.
Right.
If
so you're lucky you found
just
a little
just the slightest mishap and you're good and grounded. So I made that cut and reverse out of there, and that's when I saw the cracked motor mount. So yeah, I back out of there and I start pulling in. There's the race. It was race night there at
in Annapolis Harbor.
And oh god, yeah, there was 300 boats circling,
Everybody
and I had to make
sail.
their way across through them, But I backed it out and got into good deep water.
Mm-hmm. You eventually went to
David
Back
had
Creek.
already warned me of this, but of course I get carried into it anyway.
Right. So just tell everybody who David is.
He is
David Napolitano, I think.
He is there at Annapolis Landing. He works the charter boats there. He's
So there's another Facebook connection.
another Facebook connection.
You had never met him,
one.
but he reached out to you and said, "Hey, if you come to Annapolis, let me know." And
he, brought me in there, gave me a place that night. Basically, I tied up at the fuel dock, and he fed me and brought me beer, and met me at the dock with a beer. You can't beat that kind of, good guy, really good guy. And
So
we had a good night. We ate and stayed up too late and drank and all that,
So they actually let you stay at the fuel dock a couple days, I think.
Protestingly, the second day, I think they put me on the back side of the fuel dock, but they knew that I had motor issues and that I was trying to call around and get some help with that.
So just again, you mentioned it just now, but what happened is the mount for your new motor cracked on one side because of again, I think the transom flexing or
the
whatever.
transom flexing and having to go into reverse.
And
when I backed out.
The metal actually cracked. So
the cast just.
Now you have basically one side of the mount holding the motor on a very sort of shaky transom.
Yeah.
And so that's when we started to get worried. But you still needed to get the
I still had the next leg from Annapolis down to here.
Down to Harrington Harbor, which is not very far. It's about 18 miles, but I don't...
But it's kind of scary with only one side mount, like you said,
Yeah. So, but in the end, you made it pretty easy. You got down here.
Well, yeah, like we had talked about if I lashed it off, which is what I did. I just
babied the motor the whole way.
I lashed the hell out of it, and I babied, and she did really good.
Right.
Yeah, brought me in here. Yeah, Abby was real good to me. She brought me here safe. That's all I can say.
Yeah, good. So that brings us up to pretty much where you're at now, which is Harrington Harbor. I guess you've been here about 2 weeks now. Probably 2 weeks today, actually.
Yeah.
And I guess the next video we'll talk about everything that's happened since then.
Yeah, there's a lot of work been done here. Yeah.